Hi dear subscribers, most watch me without a subscription, support my channel with a subscription, and I will make you happy with new story. Story 1. I, 34M, think my neighbor is trying to sleep with me while my wife, 32F, is out of town. Firstly, I have told my wife what's happening since day one. Let me make that clear. Oh my, 34M, wife, 32F, is out of town for a few weeks. We're healthy, we're happy. Our relationship is great. A few days after my wife leaves, I'm taking a smoking outside my apartment complex and I'm approached by a woman, don't know her age. She asks if I live in the building and I say yeah, and she said she's seen me around and was wondering. We've been there less than a year and she said she's just moved in and she asks how I like the place. I immediately mention my wife and I moved in about a year ago too. It turns out she came from the same city we just moved from and she works in the same industry as us. I keep mentioning my wife, she is my world, and she asks if she's inside and I said now she's out of town for a bit, I know, wait for it, and she keeps saying she's never seen her around or me with anyone and asks what she looks like and I show her a photo and her response is she's pretty. Eventually the neighbor asks for some help with some work in our field and I said sure she can message me for advice and we exchanged numbers. Yes, I'm getting there. I tell her I need to call my wife so I'm heading back in, and as we're saying goodbye she offhand asks me if I know any single people in the area and if I could help her out and I told her no, and thought that was weird. Now, flirting has always gone over my head. Even my wife took several tries to get my attention when we were courting, and it was after I got back inside I realized I gave my number to a woman who was flirting with me. So when my wife called me, I told her the entire story. She laughed because she knows I'm a dummy and wouldn't do anything. She said it seemed harmless and I've told her I'm married so she'll probably back off. Plus, both my wife and I get flirted with all the time. We are an attractive couple, so it's common for us to get flirted with despite the wedding rings, but neither of us would ever do anything. So it's been about a week and my neighbor keeps messaging me at night. Asking what I'm doing, talking about how much she misses home yada yada, asking how my girlfriend is doing, yep, not wife, girlfriend. I either don't respond at all, or I've just messaged a single line like you should go out to this place and meet people for work and networking or something like that. Never setting up anything with me, always saying I'm on the phone with my wife, even if I'm not, and keeping it strictly business. The other night she was really spamming me with messages, again how is your girlfriend, which I ignored, and then eventually asked me if I had time to talk tonight, and before she had a chance to call, because absolutely I expected her to try to call me, I told her no, I'm waiting for my wife to call. And she responds with something like right, your woman comes first, and I have just ignored her since then. My wife called that night, and I told her how this is getting out of hand, and am I crazy or is she really trying to sleep with me? And my wife agreed that is exactly what she is doing. I'm a tall good-looking guy in good shape. And I'm currently sitting at home alone. My wife said she's trying to get into our bed while she is away. I told her that isn't happening and I'm going to block this neighbor and we agreed this wasn't harmless. Now it's awkward because this isn't a big complex and I know I'll run into her. She doesn't know what apartment I'm in, thank goodness, and I'm going to block her number and I don't know how to handle this if I bump into her because she seems clingy and she doesn't seem to care. She knows I'm married. All I do is talk about my wife. I've dismissed anything she asks me that is personal. It was my mistake to give her my number, I'm aware of that, but now how do I handle this? Update, wow, this blew up. Oh yeah, she messaged me again asking if I wanted to talk tonight. I told her no, and I told her up front I'm not comfortable with it, and my wife isn't either. I sent a pretty lengthy message and we went back and forth. I basically told her how inappropriate it was to ask personal questions like that because we don't know each other and I only exchanged numbers because you said you wanted advice on work and we're in the same field and you're a new neighbor and I was being friendly, but you're overstepping. I said you keep dismissing my wife, not my girlfriend, my wife, like she isn't real and our marriage isn't the most important thing in my life. She denied it, said she was lonely and just wanted someone to talk to and that she'd love to meet my wife too, yada yada. I said I've met you once, I'm not your friend, and these are not things two strangers talk about, these are questions you ask when you're interested in someone and I've been telling my wife all of this from day one and neither of us is happy about it. That's as easy as I can summarize the conversation. I ended it by saying, I hope you find something out there for you, but I'm not it, and if we bump into each other, I don't want us to talk. She said okay and sorry, and I did block her number. Now we'll see if she tries anything if I see her again, but based on the advice I've been given in the comments, I made it clear to her where I stand. Story 2. My husband 37M left me for his late husband's wife 27F. Hello, I'm sorry if this don't make sense. I'm still so upset I feel like I can't breathe, but also so angry I want to scream. This happened Saturday and I still haven't slept. I'm not ready to tell my friends or family, but I need to talk or vent or whatever. I'm 36 and my husband is 37. We've been married for 14 years. 14 years is just a few years shy of being over half my life. It's definitely most of my adult life. And now he's just gone. I had a brother-in-law. He was 33 when he died 2 years ago, leaving behind a pregnant wife who was 27 at the time, 29 now. It was tragic and she was devastated. I was so wrapped up in emotions then, but when I look back more I see it happening so obviously. I hate myself for not seeing it. Every time Sammy would cry, he'd go to comfort her. When our nephew was born, he was the first one to hold him, the first one to say his name to him out loud. All things that say the time seemed sweet, like he was taking such good care of his brother's widow, but now I know that it was more than that, and every time she'd call him and he'd go over, they were building a relationship, and it was right in front of my face. I want to throw up. And he's talking to me about being respectful. How they won't go public until after our divorce is finalized. Great, so I can pretend he's not playing happy family with his dead brother's wife while my marriage gets ripped apart by lawyers. He says he'll let me have the house. Yeah, of course he will. Now that him and Sammy have the complete family acreage, why wouldn't he build a huge new house on it? He's seriously doing this. I thought our marriage is fine. He was planning out when the ground was going to thaw so he could break ground on his new house. I feel like throwing up. Everything we did for Sammy, all the kindness we showed her, and this is what she does. Story 3. OOP's fiancé got a face tattoo without telling him or her family. All while she works a public-facing job at a finance company. I am honestly stunned right now. My fiancé Kim, I have just learned, is completely insane. She took some days off work this week, sick, and avoided seeing most people in person. She claimed she was feeling sick and just wanted to stay home alone. She has never given me any indication that she would lie about this in the 6 years we've been together. No one in her family had any worries because she was a stable individual who would never do anything crazy. She got a face tattoo. She took 3 sick days from work to recover from the fact that she got a face tattoo. She told no one of this plan beforehand. I have never in our time together been talked to about tattoos by Kim. She showed no indication that she was even interested in getting any. I was not even the first to learn. Her sister visited her because she got worried after Kim canceled meeting with her for lunch on her 3rd day sick and got the grand reveal. She didn't tell anyone beforehand because she didn't want to be talked out of it and hid the results because the swelling and redness were so bad that we would react badly and not be able to understand the artistic meaning. Kim is Asian American. She got Japanese symbols going down her forehead and under her eye. I don't know the meaning of them. I don't really know if I care to know the meaning of them. Kim's parents are Japanese immigrants. According to her sister, who was nice enough to inform me of this whole debacle, this is a big no-no in Japanese culture. Tattoos have links to crime and are looked down upon. Her parents are beside themselves, and that is a whole other set of drama I can't even begin to approach. Kim talked to me last night about it, and acted offended and started a fight because I told her it was absolutely insane of her to do this. She works a public-facing job. She talks face-to-face with clients in the financial industry. The minute her boss finds out, the career that she went to school for will be over. She actually didn't consider her job, or family, or me at all, and decided a long time ago she was going to express herself freely without any concerns. I'm worried about her right now. This is not normal. She blocked my number after our fight and is ghosting me and her sister because we're trying to help. But, dear Lord, this is far beyond me. I cannot comprehend what I'm even supposed to do right now. Kim's lost her mind. Is there any chance I will be happy married to this? A woman who went and got a face tattoo and hid that fact because she knew we would all talk her out of it. Dear Lord, I really need to run, don't I? Update, wow, this got some attention, huh? I read through the replies, but I can't really respond to all of you, so I'll just update here. The engagement is pretty much off. Kim has told me she never wants to see me again, and I woke up this morning with her ring and a box of stuff I gave her on my porch. I don't know what's going on with her. Her sister and family have been trying their best, but nothing on their end is working. I brought up to her sister the idea this is a mental breakdown and they are looking into getting her help. It's painfully slow, considering Kim is not responding to anything and is refusing to talk to anyone. I really don't know what to say here, I guess. To answer some questions, Kim is 29 and I'm 28. In the 7 years I've known her, she has never acted like this at all. She had a good relationship with her parents, and while they were a bit overbearing at times, they supported her in going to college and getting a career rather than starting a family. From what I've gathered, they probably would have been fine with any tattoo she got as long as it was not on her face, neck, or hands. Even then, this kind of behavior is as far from Kim as I could have imagined. She just lost her mind out of nowhere? It's not like I can do anything about it either. She's blocked my number and does not want to see me. I'm just at a loss for words. One day I'm engaged, and the next I'm not, and my ex has a face tattoo.